lost $20 billion because of a fake tweet. Twitter has been really the only viable social media site of this kind since its launch. And I mean, we kind of all expected that Elon was going to kill the site, but I did not expect really how quickly this was going to
I thought it would kind of putter. I thought it would kind of putter on for like a few months, maybe a year, and then kind of like slowly wrecked it for advertisers, and like various changes made it harder to use, and then eventually something would pop up that would replace it, or like, you know, maybe this something like this would happen like way later. But he's just front loading all of his bullshit.
No, he's just like, he literally just might as well have taken a torch to $44 billion. And we've already seen some of the moves he's made, right?
Also, this might also crash. This will crash Tesla too.
Yeah, right? He scared off all the advertisers. He fired the majority of the staff, right? He's laid off like all of the security team, all the privacy team, half the ad people. I actually saw yesterday one of the ad sales people having to tweet at Elon, begging him to re-add the official check marks because advertisers were mad. Right? And we're gonna
they literally had to re-add official check marks. They made the entire check mark change irrelevant.
Right. So let's kind of go over some of this stuff, right? So he comes in, he scares off all the advertisers because he's like, basically, we're changing content moderation policies. Then he goes, oh, actually, we're not going to change content moderation. It's going to be the same. We're not going to release any unbanned accounts. And then
we are still going to fire the entire content moderation team.
And then he fires the entire content moderation team, right? And then he gets added, right? Because he's clearly not answering emails. And by the way, Twitter has laid off their entire communications department, and nobody is able
entire communications department, their entire moderation department, their entire AI development department, their entire privacy and safety department. Like, literally, like, whole divisions of Twitter are just fucking atoms.
Right, and remember, they have a consent decree with the FTC, and we're going to get to that in a second, right? But, yeah, so Twitter, like, he comes in, advertisers are fucking freaking out, and he responds when he gets messaged by one of the largest the CEO of one of the largest advertising firms in the world, who's like, hey, you promised us you were going to focus on content moderation, but you laid off 75% of the team and you're misrepresenting our call, right? Because Elon's saying that woke activists are trying to kill the site by forcing advertisers to boycott. He's like, that's not what's going on. We had this conversation yesterday. Why are you misrepresenting this? And Elon responds by blocking him. So already a great start, right? So he comes up with the idea to give everyone check marks for $8 a month. Obviously, anyone who is older than 5 years old was able to instantly predict that this was going to be an absolute fucking shit show. Initially, Twitter rolls out double check marks, right? So you get the check mark, and then there's a second check mark that says you're official, right? And they roll that out, and then within like 2 hours of rolling it out, Elon says, actually, you know what? Scrap it, and they remove all of it. And then the exact thing everyone predicts happens, which is hundreds and hundreds of accounts come up impersonating advertisers, right? So like they said, we're not going to put the official label on accounts, but we're aggressively going after impersonation. The only way you could tell for like a day and a half if an account was real or paid was by clicking on the check mark. And if it was real, it'd say it's verified because it's notable. And then they went right after they rolled it all out and then rolled it back. Oh, actually, we're going to add official to advertiser accounts. Just like absolute shit show. Absolute shit show. And things are really not going well for Twitter because guess what? He's tried to get more funding. He's tried to get more funding. Thank you for the biddies. To be clear, Twitter Senior secured bank loans, the top of the capital stack, at 60 cents, which implies Twitter, for which Elon Musk has paid $44 billion, is now worth less than $8 billion. So Twitter was never worth $44 billion, but it was worth probably like $39-40 billion.
Yeah, it was worth somewhere like close.
Yeah, it was worth like probably like I think like $38-40 billion a month ago. It's now worth $8 billion. The preceding tweet has brought out the corporate finance nerds, blah, 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 blah. Oh my God. The market values put this at $5 billion. Oh my God. Dude, he is just Like how and remember when he bought Twitter had the equivalent of 2.8 billion in cash equivalents on hand. So when he purchased it, they had 2.8 billion in cash.
2.8 liquid.
Well, cash equivalent, so largely liquid. Largely liquid. Right? So they had 2.8 billion on hand. That's fucking gone now. Somehow they're already looking.
They probably had to pay severance.
Thank you for the sub, Sal. Thank you for the sub. Thank you.
They probably had to pay severance for all the employees.
Well, so they had to pay severance for some people, but he already he laid off like 75% of the staff, and he has just completely liquidated everything. So there's so much to go on in this. So we're going to start with the consequences of Twitter Blue. Right? Because the Twitter Blue stuff had some, other than being extremely funny and having the completely predictable result that anyone who wasn't a literal child could have predicted, that all the brands start getting impersonated.
Fucking brands.
Yeah. So other than the obvious result of brands being impersonated, it's actually not only damaged Twitter's credibility, because now advertisers are like, yo, why are we going to advertise on Twitter? We're being impersonated all the time. Not only that, the Twitter Blue impersonations have actually cost companies billions of dollars. I'm not even kidding. Companies have lost billions of dollars in market cap because of Elon's harebrained idea to let anyone have an advertise and a check mark. So you guys all saw, for example, the tweet from Eli Lilly, the fake Eli Lilly account saying insulin's free. And it's not just Eli Lilly. So we're going to go through some of these, and then we're going to get into some of the consequences of him laying people off, because the company is now falling apart. It's completely full of security holes. People who are running important sectors that keep the whole thing up and running are gone, and no one knows how to run them. There are massive gaps in the security.
One more thing.
Yeah.
Bring a bucket and a mop.
Oh, thank you, Chimera.
You might not know what this means, but a lot of people might. They're running a dev build in fucking production right now.
Yep. Yeah, no, I cannot overstate how badly things are going.
I just want to if people don't understand coding or how production works in when you're building a program or you have a live service that's up. This is Twitter is like a car or a train traveling down a highway. Well, more like a car. And it's a car traveling down a highway. And imagine you're driving the car. You're the user. You're the user of Twitter. And while you're driving this car, Elon Musk is sitting on the front, tearing parts out, putting them back in while you're going fucking 80.
Yeah.
And all that has to happen is that someone has to make one little mistake, and everything goes fucking kaplooey.
Well, I would like to point out, for example, that literally everything is breaking right now. A friend of mine just DM'd me. Ask Vera just DM'd me, showing me that now Twitter URLs are no longer properly working. So I am going to enter in the URL for one of her tweets. And so let's go ahead and enter that URL for her tweet into the search bar here. Let's click it, and that is not Ask Vera.
What?
Yeah. Even the fucking links are broken now. So I just entered in the link to Ask Vera's tweet, and it sends you to this tweet instead.
Let's see if this does this on other stuff. Okay, it seems like some links aren't broken.
Well, some links aren't, but some are. Literally, typing in, and instead of sending you to Ask Vera, it sends you to Golden Wolf with the exact same tweet address. Dude, things are falling apart. So we're going to get into the infrastructure stuff is collapsing. We're going to get into the advertisers, and just shit is going badly right now. So let's start with the advertiser stuff, because like I said, the consequences have not been just for people, just for, Twitter losing advertising revenue, right? It hasn't been just for that, because we all remember the big famous tweets from yesterday that everyone laughed about, that we all thought were very, very funny, right? the spokesperson for Eli Lilly has said they're in communication with Twitter to address the fake but verified Eli Lilly tweet, right? So we all saw this tweet. We all saw Mario flipping everyone off. We all saw the fake Lockheed Martin. And, they reinstated the official check marks after they said they were going to get rid of them, specifically to deal with this issue. And they've started handling it by, oh God, like the links are just straight up not working half the time. Oh my God. So it's not great. So did Twitter Blue just cost Eli Lilly billions of dollars? Yes. So look at this, right? They tweeted, insulin is free now. And today, Eli Lilly was down 3%. $11 a share. And it's not just Eli Lilly. Eli Lilly dives after fake Twitter account promises free insulin, takes Novo Nordisk and Sanofi with it. We regret to inform you we will not be giving away insulin, a publicly funded invention that was given away by its creator to make sure people didn't die. We apologize for the people who have been served a misleading message. Eli Lilly's stock isn't tanking just because of a satirical tweet on Musk's hellscape. It's tanking because now millions of people are asking, why do we have to pay for insulin when it was made to be free? That's why other insulin stocks are falling too. Happy Disability Awareness Month. Investors' fear culture caught up with them. Most people know insulin's discovery was funded with our money. Insulin's cheaper everywhere else. Insulin's inventors sold their patent for $1 to the university because they wanted everyone to be able to afford it. Even Wall Street Journal, not exactly the champion of people over profit, publicly dings Eli Lilly for its immoral price gouging. If you look at the top producers of insulin, more evidence that investors know how vulnerable the insulin grift is. Any news is bad news because we're all paying attention now. Like every company that's selling insulin, their stock tanked today as a result of the fake tweets. Following this and many other parodies of corporations and odious political figures, Musk has rushed to turn off the $8 Twitter Blue signups and reintroduced yet another badge, destroying the value of the blue checkmark. Right, the official badge. So he rolled out the Twitter Blue checkmark for like literally a day. Oh my God, right? Like we just learned Eli Lilly executives are raging and furious at losing $20 billion in market cap from the stunt with Twitter Blue. It's too bad they don't see their own damn insulin price gouging as the actual problem. Like they lost $20 billion because of a fake tweet. Somebody spent $8. Just think about this, guys.
And lost another thing, 20 billion.
Just think about this, dude. Some troll spent $8 to shit on Eli Lilly, and it cost them $20 billion.
Honestly, that is some immense praxis right there. I hope that person realizes how much of a fucking champ they are. Because they're a fucking champ. That's some amazing shit.
Like, imagine that. Like, costing them $20 billion. All right, verified imposter Twitter account.
The APAC tweet was fucking amazing.
Well,
yes, the APAC
yes,
one?
I did. Yes, I did. Verified Twitter imposter accounts tanks pharma stocks, and it's not just pharma that's tanking, right? Absolute hero.
Of course not.
So Lockheed Martin. We will be halting all weapon sales to Saudi Arabia, Israel, and the United States until further investigation of their human rights abuses. We are Lockheed Martin. Lockheed's down 5% today as a result of this.
That's still a lot.
That's a lot, dude. Like, these companies are fucking tanking. Like, look at this.
These people must be literally having their lawyers, like, hammer on Elon's door.
Seriously, the fucking Twitter Blue fiasco has cost billions of dollars. Elon may have lost $40 billion, but these companies have lost nearly as much. Like, this is fucking insane. And unfortunately, for Twitter, this is probably one of the least of their concerns because they are just hemorrhaging from the inside out. It is not going great. I guess, maybe Elon will go down in history as the greatest wrecker of capitalism ever. It's going so badly. Like I said, Twitter was worth $40 billion a month ago. And they have laid off all their security teams, or almost all their security, and everyone else. And it's just going down. So look at this, right? What? The cuts were enormous. Redbird, Twitter's platform and infrastructure organization, Mr. Musk shed numerous managers. The unit lost 80% of its engineering staff. So he laid off 80% of the infrastructure staff, raising internal concerns about the company's ability to keep the site running. I have it on good authority that the tweet storage system, called TweetTypey, and the user storage system, GizmoDuck, are down to one engineer each.
What?
It's worse than you've heard, is what Twitter... Like, literally, what is he thinking? Billions and billions of records and trillions of
This is like
queries.
he's trying to run Twitter like a fucking startup. It's not enough people.
It's not a startup. You can't... Like, this is literally suicidal. Billions and billions of records and trillions of queries are being maintained by one engineer each. Impossible. It sounds like they're down to 2 on GizmoDuck from 14 originally. Like, what is he thinking? He raised Twitter's debt payment to $1 billion a year, so he had to try to find a way to squeeze out $1 billion, so he's cutting all the infrastructure costs. Twitter sent an HR email to every laid-off employee acknowledging it's late getting their separation agreements and release of claims. But the company messed up the BCC and it became a reply-all catastrophe. Everything is going... They fucking accidentally, reply-alled everyone with an email. Don't worry though, guys, because it's getting worse. This is a perfect clusterfuck. For example, Twitter's, the site certification, security certificate, it's expiring in a month. I don't know if they're going to get the DigiCert next year because they have, next month, because they have no security team left. And speaking of security, Twitter, like I said, has laid off most of their security team. And Bielski, do you think that's going to be good or bad for, say, credit card security?
Oh, yeah, that's going to be great whenever, there's less people handling, security intrusions and attempts at, phishing Twitter's data.
Don't worry. It's way worse than that. So this is another thing that came out today. I have some really disappointing and horrifying news about Twitter ads ingesting and storing advertiser credit cards. They have a new review data field that is a plain text ingest. The credit card fields are encrypted, which includes the first 6 and last 4 numbers of your credit card. So, if you are an advertiser specifically, 10 of the digits of your credit card are stored in plain text.
Yeah.
Just plain text, dude. Just stored in plain text.
Yep.
I want to make sure it's clear that storing card numbers in plain text in a review data field, it might be used for fraud and abuse. Potentially, the Twitter ads fraud and abuse vendors sift which you agree to share your data with, but it's stored on Twitter's side. And so currently, the way Twitter has set up the review data field for advertiser credit cards, there's a big JSON dump on the Twitter infrastructure with advertiser name, contact info, and the first 6 and last 6 digits or last 4 digits of the card. There are 16 digits on most cards, so 10 are in plain text in a big file, which is if that's ever leaked or breached, there will be some networks where you can phish account details or bulk test variations to get working corporate credit cards with massive ad tech spending limits. Many folks know the Twitter Blue service uses Stripe to process monthly, but the Twitter ad tech is different. Some aspect of this plain text JSON dump with 10 credit card numbers in plain text within the review data flow is wildly dangerous for brands. They're already on the verge of losing all advertisers, and just cherry on top, it's coming out that they are storing advertiser data in plain text. Really going well. And so this is just a list of all the shit that's been going on the past few days. This is so funny, I'm going to throw up. Elon Musk is a literal genius. So to review his last 24 hours, chiefs of info security, privacy, and compliance quit. And here's the thing I want to kind of reiterate with the compliance chiefs quitting. If your entire compliance department for a company which is under an FTC consent decree all quit at the same time before the launching of a new product, and in their joint announcement link to the FTC whistleblower phone number, one can assume that things are not going well. To quote this person here, oh, the tweet's been deleted. No! Because somebody tweeted and it's been deleted. They said, if everyone at the Department of being held responsible for the company following the law quits at the same time, what do you think happened just before that? Because strong statement from the FTC, we are tracking developments at Twitter with deep concern. Absolute train wreck of, honestly, of historic proportions. Head of legal warns employees to call out sick and use whistleblower service to avoid breaking law. Warns Musk only cares about monetizing users on the brink of bankruptcy. In the last 24 hours, they have lost the chief of trust and safety, sales, information security, compliance, and privacy.
These are basically this is basically the functional, actual, leaders of Twitter, the people who are actually making the day-to-day decisions and calls that keep the site running. And these guys, the guys who've probably been there for years and years and years, are jumping ship and saying, get the fuck out, contact a lawyer.
Or stay home and call out sick so you don't violate the law, right? The head of legal is on record warning employees about the risk of legal exposure if they follow Musk's orders. Musk agreed to delay mass layoffs so employees receive their annual bonus on one condition. The CAO had to do a payroll audit to confirm Twitter's employees were real humans and not ghost employees. What? He fired the executive immediately after. By the way, some of the ideas Musk had, and we'll kind of pull those up later, like the Dogecoin thing. He wanted to make all tweets dependent on crypto. I was reading some of the stuff and I couldn't believe how dumb it is. On October 30th, Musk received word that a rapid approach could cost millions of dollars, more than laying people off with their scheduled bonuses. Right? He agreed to delay, but on one condition. Before paying the bonus, he insisted on a payroll audit to make sure there weren't ghost employees. I don't know what the fuck that is. Mr. Musk tapped Robert Kaden, Twitter's CAO, to conduct the audit. He asked managers to verify that they knew certain employees and confirm they were human, according to the people on internal documents. The November 1st bonus date came and went with no mass layoffs. Mr. Kaden was fired the next day and marched out of the building. Twitter executives also suggested assessing the list of layoffs for diversity and inclusion issues so the cuts would not hit people of color disproportionately and to avoid legal trouble. Mr. Musk's team brushed aside the suggestion. Twitter has also lost its VP of advertising and chief accounting officer. When asked how staff should deal with the morale issue, Mr. Musk said workers would need to go hardcore and play to win. After laying off key information security team, Mr. Musk's personal lawyer emailed Twitter employees to say they won't go to jail if they follow Mr. Musk's commands. Imagine getting that email from your boss's personal lawyer.
Not a great email to get.
Literally, he emailed...
Not the email you want to get.
Dude, he literally emailed people saying, if you follow what the boss says, you won't go to jail. I promise you won't go to jail if you follow what the boss says. What an email to get, right? Holy shit. Twitter has, and see, once again, tweets are just disappearing. This is so weird. The tweet said, Twitter has suspended the launch of Twitter Blue and is actively trying to stop people from subscribing to help address impersonation. But here's the thing. Tweets are being deleted and disappearing, and shit's shifting around. When you go to one link for a tweet, it takes you to a totally different tweet in the thread. This tweet is apparently deleted. Or is it? It just showed it was deleted a second ago, but now it's not deleted.
Amazing.
The announcement was posted on Slack. An update of what we did tonight hid the entry point for Twitter Blue, because we were talking about that. Added the official label only for advertisers. There is at least one way for Twitters to sign up for Blue, Legacy Blue, so people who had $4 a month before can go to subscriptions and upgrade. Note 2, existing Blue subscribers will still have their Blue features, just not the checkmark. Twitter has disabled Blue from being purchased. It's crazy that what everyone literally predicted would happen ended up happening. But don't worry. This is not the end, because like I said, even more stuff. It's just truly baffling. Twitter has slashed their value from being worth billions of dollars to 8 billion or less. They have laid off everyone who is maintaining their infrastructure. They have scared off, pissed off, or cost billions of dollars to all of their chief advertisers. The site is no longer working. URLs direct to other random tweets. People are losing check marks when they're supposed to have them. If you go to a link on a tweet, it'll take you to a different tweet in the thread. And tweets that are deleted are gone. So Mr. Musk's personal lawyer emailed Twitter employees to say they won't go to jail. Pro tip, as an HR professional of 30 years, I can tell you, if you're working at a company that sends you this email, it's time to find another job.
Leave, run, immediately.
Like, holy shit. And we're going to wrap this segment out on this, but if you are working at a company and they tell you, hey guys, listen, everything's going fine. Sure, okay, maybe bankruptcy's on the table or, but listen, you need to self-certify your actions with the FTC. Because once again, remember, they are under an FTC consent decree. If they violate that consent decree, they can be fined billions of dollars. Billions of dollars. He has laid off everyone who's in charge of compliance, and he is saying, you guys got to self-certify. Now the head of legal is telling people, stay home, do not go to work, or you will go to jail, what he's asking you to do. And then he has his lawyer send out an email, don't worry, guys, you won't go to jail. Right? Elon Musk is putting Twitter at risk of billions in fines, warns company lawyer. Meanwhile, his personal lawyer is telling people Elon puts rockets in space. He's not afraid of the FTC. Twitter's privacy and security teams are in turmoil after Elon Musk's changes to the service.
Be afraid of the FTC.
You should be afraid of the FTC. Bypassed standard data governance processes. Now a company lawyer is encouraging employees to seek whistleblower protection if you feel uncomfortable about anything you're asked to do. The company's chief privacy officer, Damian Kieran, chief information officer, Leah Kistner, and chief compliance officer, Marianne Fogarty, have all resigned, according to 2 employees, and they have confirmed their departure on a tweet on Tuesday. Once again, they posted in their resignation notes a link to the FTC whistleblower site. In a note posted to Slack and viewable to all staff, an attorney for the company's privacy team wrote, quote, Elon has shown his only priority with Twitter users is how to monetize them. I do not believe he cares about human rights activists, the dissidents, our users in unmonetizable regions, and all the other users who have made Twitter a global town square you have spent so long building, and we love. The FTC reached a settlement with Twitter in May after the company was caught using personal info to target ads. Whoops, I bet he's going to do that again. If Twitter doesn't comply with the agreement, the FTC can issue fines reaching into billions. The note goes on to say its author, who The Verge knows the identity of but will not disclose, quote, heard Alex Spiro, the head of legal, say that Elon is willing to take on a huge amount of risk in relation to the company and its users because he puts rockets in space and he's not scared of the FTC. Their new legal department is asking engineers to self-certify compliance with FTC rules and other privacy laws. Oh boy. The employee said this week's launch of Twitter Blue disregarded the company's normal privacy and security review, with a red team reviewing potential risks the night before the launch. So he has cut it down to a skeleton crew, and he is asking people to review security risks for a thing that he wants done and out the door. And they have a day before launch to review security risks with massive pressure that they need to make this work. Great. The people normally tasked with this stuff were given little notice, little time, and unreasonable to think the privacy review was comprehensive. None of Red Team's recommendations were implemented before the launch. Very cool. So they had a day. They had a day to do this. And then what little they came up with was ignored. Very cool. Musk has signaled that his first priority is rebuilding Twitter's infrastructure. He says that, but he's laid off everyone who maintains their infrastructure. During a Twitter Spaces audio conversation with advertisers on Wednesday, he said he wanted to redo the company's software stack so the same technology is powering the relevance of tweets and ads. We have to be adventuresome, he said. In a statement shared with The Verge after the story was published, an unnamed FTC spokesperson said the agency was tracking recent developments with deep concern, saying they're not above the law. We have tools to ensure compliance, and we are prepared to use them. Former Twitter outside counsel Rihanna Peppercorn? That's a fun name. Noted in a tweet, the company's FTC consent order requires the company to do privacy reviews before making changes to the product. So they were supposed to do privacy reviews on this and didn't. The same FTC consent decree orders Twitter submit a compliance notice signed by predetermined officers of the company to the FTC 14 days after a change in company control, which means Twitter owes the FTC a compliance notice today, 14 days after Musk took over. And remember, the compliance, everyone in charge of compliance all quit the day before this was supposed to be turned in and linked to the whistleblower thing. So, like I said, if the entire department of making sure the company doesn't break the law all quits the day before they're supposed to send a notice promising they didn't break the law, that's probably not a good sign. I anticipate that all of you will be pressured by management into pushing out changes that will likely lead to major incidents, said Twitter lawyer in the Slack message. On Thursday, Musk sent an email to employees addressing the concerns about the FTC consent order. I cannot emphasize enough that Twitter will do whatever it takes to adhere to both the letter and spirit of the decree. Anything you read is to the contrary is absolutely false. Here's what Twitter lawyer wrote. Oh my God. Yeah, and then he ends the message. This is the lawyer's resignation message, and he ends it. If you feel all of this is extremely dangerous, given that the FTC can and will fine Twitter billions of dollars pursuant to the FTC consent order, it is extremely detrimental to Twitter's longevity as a platform. Our users deserve better. If you feel uncomfortable about anything you're being asked to do, call Twitter's ethics hotline, which probably doesn't exist anymore, or submit a report to ethicshelplinetwitter.com.
The ethics hotline just goes to Elon's voicemail.
That's right. Please also note the FTC's number is FTC Help. You may remember Mudge reached out at whistleblowerraid.com. I wish you all luck. It's an honor to work with you, and I'll be taking PTO today. So I just want to reinstate or reaffirm how badly everything is going at Twitter, how fucked this company is, and we will round this out with a single message. The Verge has reached out to Musk for comment. Twitter no longer has a communications department. I want to reinstate or reaffirm how badly everything is going at Twitter, how fucked this company is, and we will round this out with a single message. The Verge has reached out to Musk for comment. Twitter no longer has a communications department. I want to reinstate or reaffirm how badly everything is going at Twitter, how fucked this company is, and we will round this out with a single message. The Verge has reached out to Musk for comment. Twitter no longer has a communications department.